Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. This episode is brought to you by Kalshi. Use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. I'm Dave Gasper. Lots to get to here on a Wednesday show as we again continue to get closer and closer to the trade deadline. We got a trade proposal from Jeff Passan that we're going to be talking about here. Also, some updates on some injured Brewers, including a new injury that we'll have to get to as well. But first, for the actual game on the field, the Brewers bounced back as I kind of expected them to in Tuesday's game. The Brewers get an 8-2 victory over the Giants. And look, I mean, they kind of came out with a dud on Monday, first game of the series, just kind of getting settled in on the West Coast. But then they bounced back, put up a whole bunch of runs, and they kind of take it to the Giants there and Landon Roop. And Logan Henderson was absolutely fantastic. 5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, but 7 strikeouts. And overall, he didn't allow a run in his 5 2/3 innings. Logan Henderson looked really, really good. He almost was able to get it through 6 innings, but Pat Murphy chose to go to the bullpen there, which understandable. He was at 93 pitches. Kind of seemed to be running out of gas there, so Murphy made the change. But look, Logan Henderson pitched incredibly well, and he gave the Brewers a great chance to win. The offense showed up. You get a triple from William Contreras, a triple from Luis Lara. You get some production there offensively. Really great to see that. So things just kind of picking back up a little bit there. And again, kind of expected them to be able to rebound here as they kind of get settled in out in San Francisco, being on this West Coast trip. They had the travel delays getting out of Milwaukee to begin with on Sunday night. So then, that kind of messes with everything, the timing of when you get there, sleep schedules, all of that stuff. So it does kind of impact performance. Pat Murphy's like, oh no, we're not going to use that as an excuse. But it does kind of maybe explain why they played so poorly. But they end up bouncing back. So you get some really good production offensively. Logan Henderson, really, really good once again. And Logan Henderson really kind of a feature here for the Brewers. I mean, obviously a big part of their rotation, big part of their plans. He has stepped up in a big way for this group, especially as injuries have taken some of these guys out of the rotation. Brandon Woodruff, Quinn Priester opened up a spot for Henderson, and Henderson has taken it and ran with it and really kind of established himself as a very important piece of the future for this Brewers rotation. Or is he? Because according to Jeff Passan here, if he has his way with this Tarek Skubal trade proposal, Logan Henderson will not be part of the Brewers' future rotation, but instead the Detroit Tigers' future rotation. So we've seen this kind of bandied about here in the Tarek Skubal trade talks over the past couple of days, that if the Tigers were to trade Skubal, they would want in return a young, controllable starter that they can immediately plug into their starting rotation, because they're kind of sort of on the fringes of the playoff hunt. They're a couple of games out of the last wild card spot in the American League. The American League is a hodgepodge and a complete mess right now, so there's not a ton of true sellers over there, but also the Tigers kind of recognize their situation, and they know they're unlikely to keep Skubal, so they're looking to get better than the draft pick compensation in return, and they're looking to get a young, controllable starter, along with a couple of other prospects, in return for the 2 months of Skubal. And one of the names, basically the main name bandied about for what they would want from the Brewers in a potential deal, would be Logan Henderson. That'd be the prime target for them. I think Robert Gasser and Brandon Sproat also could be possibilities as well for that group. But with Logan Henderson, that is kind of the headliner here. And so here's the full proposal here from Jeff Passan. He has this up on ESPN. Tigers trading Tarek Skubal to the Brewers, and that would be for Logan Henderson, Josh Adamszewski, and infielder Ricky Moniz. And Ricky Moniz is he's in the Dominican Summer League. He was an international signing just this past January. So very young kid, very far away from the major leagues, but also star potential that Ricky Moniz has. And if you watched yesterday's show, Josh Adamczewski was on my list of untouchable Brewers prospects. So for me, this is an immediate, ugh. I'd kind of rather not include Josh Adamczewski in a trade like this for 2 months of Tarek Skubal. Okay, look, Josh Adamczewski, I truly do believe could be a very, very good piece and an everyday regular at the big league level. He has been phenomenal, putting up great numbers in Double A Biloxi, and just continues to get better. Finding a spot for him is going to be kind of interesting. He was drafted as a shortstop. He was an infielder coming up. The Brewers moved him to the outfield because they're like, dude, we got no spots for you in the infield. So your only hope of making it here is in the outfield. But Adam Shesky, very good player. And including him along with Logan Henderson is a tough pill for me to swallow. For even for someone as great as Tarek Skubal is, and as much as I think the Brewers should be looking to make a move here for Skubal to reinforce this rotation, to have a more of a veteran number one option to go alongside Mizorowski and Harrison to lead this group through the playoffs, I think you need a little bit more there, and I think Skubal is the guy who can do it. But Henderson and Adam Shesky is a very, very tough price to pay. So for me, I would have kind of preferred to see a substitute for Adam Shesky. I think Braylon Payne maybe could be a worthy substitute for Adam Shesky, just with the stuff that he's putting up there in A-ball. Maybe, let's see, who else here on the position player side? Jet Williams as well. I mean, he's close to big league ready. He can play infield, outfield. He can play in multiple different positions. He could be helping out Detroit very, very soon. I'd like to see a Jet Williams or a Braylon Payne substituted in. If it's going to be that caliber of a prospect, where it's going to take someone like an Adam Shesky, I'd prefer someone kind of more in a similar kind of vein that's highly regarded, like a Jet Williams or a Braylon Payne. I think that's where I'd rather lean for the Brewers giving up. And maybe that's just kind of where the counters would come in, because this proposal from Passan, it would absolutely would get it done from the Tigers. This would kind of be like a Tigers dream package here for Tarek Skubal. I don't see this being something that the Brewers are willing to do, to lose both Henderson and Adam Shesky in this deal. Ricky Monies, I really do like him as a prospect. I think he's very intriguing, but he's also 17 years old. He is far away from the major league level. So, it's like, okay, but still, I mean, that's what happened with Fernando Tatis Jr. He was traded away at 17, 18 years old when he was still super far away from the majors and turned out to be a stud. So there's risk there with trading away guys like that. So I think this proposal is too much for the Brewers' taste. I think it's a little too rich, and I think the Brewers would prefer to substitute in like a Robert Gasser for instead of Logan Henderson, because if it's going to cost one of their young controllable starters, I think the Brewers are going to do everything they can to hold on to Logan Henderson. I think he has a priority and the preference for the Brewers right now over Robert Gasser. So I think Gasser is a potential substitute there. If you substitute in Gasser for Henderson, and you substitute Braylon Payne for Adam Shesky, I think that's a deal that I might do. But Henderson and Adam Shesky, absolutely not. I'm not trading away both of them together for only 2 months of a player. That, I think, is a little too much to pay from the Brewers' end. So it's a very interesting proposal. I think it kind of lays out what the Tigers are going to be looking for. Kind of a general view of what a package might look like. But I'm going to say no to this if I'm the Milwaukee Brewers. But look, there's going to be a lot of teams interested, but it's 2 months. It's a rental. So rental prices are not what they used to be. And this is really going to kind of come down to the wire when it comes to trade negotiations, because the Tigers, again, still kind of view themselves as contenders here. So that is something to keep an eye on. All right. Something also to keep an eye on is Kalshi. We got to track the odds here, because you can trade every single game on Kalshi, and the Brewers have one more coming up here against the San Francisco Giants. Shane Drowan on the mound for the Crew, and I'm looking at this game, and Shane Drowan has been pitching very well lately. I mean, he has made it through 6 innings in each of his last several starts here. Making it through at least 6. His last 4 starts. So I'm looking at Shane Drowan. Currently, 6+ strikeouts is trading at 40%. Shane Drowan has gotten 6+ strikeouts in each of his last 3 starts and 4 of his last 5. So he's been getting the strikeout numbers. The San Francisco Giants are a team that generally strikes out a lot. So that's that's kind of quite the combination there for them to be able to do that. Hold on a second. Let me pull up the team strikeout numbers here. And the Giants, let's see, they actually, they don't strike out near as often as I thought. But still, anyways, Shane Drowan pitching, throwing strikeouts. 4 out of the last 5 times he has gotten 6+. So I am taking that at 40%, which means a $100 trade pays out $222 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on anything. All right, so we got to talk about some injury updates here as well. Got a kind of a surprise one here. Jake Bauers is day to day with a toe injury. So word, kind of comes out. The Brewers send out the injury update, and Jake Bauers got an X-ray on his toe, on his foot, after a foul ball off of it on Monday night, and it showed a fracture line. So it's like, okay, he's got a fractured right big toe. That sounds like an IL stint. But then they get an MRI, CT, they get extra imaging, and it turns out it's an old fracture. Because an old fracture, not new. So it's just going to be pain management for him. He is just day to day, but still, he's not in the lineup on Tuesday. Obviously, makes sense. But Jake Bauers has been one of the Brewers' best hitters all season long. Has been a force for them in the middle of the order. So to have him potentially not at 100%, trying to play through an injury, that is kind of difficult, and does maybe make you wonder, with the trade deadline coming up here, could the Brewers maybe, make an addition now offensively to try and help cover for that if he's going to end up missing some time? Again, right now it is just day to day. It's just kind of a matter of, how much can he manage the pain? And if he's able to manage it just fine, able to run just fine, then I would imagine he would continue being on the active roster. But I would also imagine with this injury, we're going to see him, maybe get a couple of extra days off here. Maybe a little bit more Andrew Vaughn over at first base, a little bit more Luis Lara in the outfield instead of Bauers being out there. So it could be more of a part-time role there for a little bit as the Brewers try to get him back healthy. Now, I haven't seen the lineup for today's game just yet, but I would imagine that Jake Bauers is probably not going to play in this finale here. That way he gets Tuesday off, he gets Wednesday off, then he has a day off on Thursday before the Angels series. So that gives him 3 days off on the foot, and so that can maybe heal a bit more before they put him back in the lineup. That's just what I would guess for him, just try and get him that little bit of extra time. But Jake Bauers, if they miss him for any sort of length of time, if this continues to flare up, if he fouls another ball off of his foot, that could mean an IL stint. So that is something to keep in mind here as the Brewers are trying to make sure that their offense is firing on all cylinders. Also, we got more injury updates as well that came out here for the Brewers. And some are certainly good. Some are maybe not quite as good. I mean, Jake Bauer is obviously kind of the big concerning one there. But Sal Frelick received the cortisone injection last week in his shoulder. And his estimated return timeline is early to mid August. So sounds like it may not be too long, but still maybe another 2 weeks for Sal Frelick to be out of the lineup as he's kind of trying to work his way back. Also in the outfield, Brandon Lockridge on rehab assignment with AAA Nashville. He had a pair of hits in Tuesday night's game, so Lockridge continuing to get some at bats underneath him. He should hopefully be back fairly soon. DL Hall, he is continuing his rehab assignment, and he is with the Timber Rattlers. He was up with AAA Nashville. Now he's going back to Appleton, and he's going to throw one inning for the Timber Rattlers on today here. So that's kind of the plan for him. Late July, early August return for DL Hall. So it could be in a matter of days here. I mean, once he finishes this rehab outing today, maybe he could come back right after that. So DL Hall could be returning pretty soon to this group. Kyle Harrison also will be pitching in Appleton. That's going to be coming up today here as well. So that is, or actually, no, Thursday. Getting my days mixed up. Thursday, tomorrow. Kyle Harrison will be pitching, and he's planning to go 75, 80 pitches for the Timber Rattlers. So if you're around, there where the Timber Rattlers are, I mean, that could be a good one to go see. Kyle Harrison getting his rehab start in. Hopefully could be back after that. Joel Kuhnel has a live BP scheduled for Appleton as well tomorrow. Planned return early August. And Rob Zastryzny, who has been out basically all season with a myriad of injuries. Have not seen him pitch quite yet. It's been a bunch of shoulder, upper trap kind of stuff. Had recurring symptoms on his last rehab assignment. He will have a bullpen scheduled for today, and his estimated return is sometime in August. So Rob Z, hopefully he can find a way to make this not an entirely lost season and get himself back healthy. But it's been tough sledding for him. So those are the Brewers' injury updates there. Some guys on the mend coming back hopefully soon there. Kyle Harrison rehab outing, DL Hall rehab outing, Brandon Lockridge continuing his rehab. So those are kind of the big updates there. Sal Frelick could be another 1 to 2 weeks here. Just kind of see how his shoulder ends up recovering and getting strengthened back up. So important names to keep an eye on there as the Brewers just try and keep on winning as they continue here on this West Coast trip. We'll see what kind of trades they make. And as always, I mean, whatever they do, we'll end up breaking it down here on Brewers Daily, so you're not going to want to miss it, whether it comes to trades or rumors, whatever it is, we'll be talking about it. So be sure to subscribe and get notified if you have not already. Also, follow me on X at dgasper24. I'll have tons of analysis going up there. Appreciate all of you watching and listening, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.